Hey everybody, today we're going to continue working on the Lego City. Specifically, train track. I've done a pretty good job of integrating a lot of the train track here throughout the city, but I want to work on reconnecting the line because recently I made a change over here to the entrance of the canal. I shifted it over 32 studs, meaning the grade for this is much too steep. This plate has been transferred back there. The grade for this needs to be reworked. I need to integrate the covering more seamlessly with the train track, and we just need to reconnect the track because right now, that doesn't look too healthy. That would not be good. Don't want to run the trains on that. And while I take care of that, I may as well work on detailing this area as well. We're talking like the green space right by the train track covering and this cove right here. And then we've got these studs underneath this curve. Need to figure out what I'm going to do in this area to make that look a little bit better. It used to be just an integrated track that was right into the mills plate, and it was all green. But I have this cove here, and I'm thinking maybe I could do something cool with the cove and a raised train curve, and maybe we can have the elevation actually start back there. First off, deconstruction. I've removed a bunch of my track. Look at all those colorful base plates there, and all the colorful track. This is just my standard track there, the plates on the bottom, plates between the rails, and the tile on top. That's why I've been doing my new and improved track for the city around the downtown core at least. So my colorful supports were pretty aggressive before. In the end, they went up 6 bricks, a plate, and a tile, which is equivalent to 20 plates because each brick is 3 plates. There's 18, 19, 20. And it was really aggressive. The train, it got up there, it struggled a little bit, but my goal today is to make it so it just glides up there. It's going to be no big deal for any train, whether it be a cargo train, anything like that. No matter how many cars it's towing, I don't care. I want it to be able to go up this grade, and then it's going to go down a bit quick on the other side, but going downhill is a little bit easier for trains than going uphill. So I think personally that the best way to create a grade for a train is to go up 1 plate per segment of track. This is 2 segments of track. So what I've done is I've removed all those tiled off pieces of track all the way back to here. So I'm thinking if it's got to go up 20 plates, then it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, it's going to be flat around the corner, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Here's all the supports starting at 1 tile, then 1 plate, 1 tile, 2 plates, 1 tile, 1 brick, 1 tile, 1 brick, 1 plate, 1 tile, all the way up to 6 bricks, 1 plate, 1 tile, and I just interlock the bricks like that, make them sort of hollow. They don't really need to be solid because they're going to be tacked down to a base plate, so they're going to be pretty rock solid anyway. And then I put the tiles on top, and that just lets the train track sit on there rather than being tacked down. I think it's just going to flow more naturally, like at a constant angle upward. I'm thinking this is going to work out quite nicely. I've still got to build some supports for that curve though. But look at that, it's starting way back here. Going to go up, 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 and away. The downgrade actually works out nicely as well. It's going to be 2 plates per 16 studs or 1 piece of train track. I'm not going to start it right on the curve here. We're going to start it right here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 pieces, and there's 20 plates, so 2 plates per. I decided it would be best to replace the tile with a plate on either side of the curve, just so the track is actually tacked down. The track does wiggle a bit on top of those tiles there, but the track will also be guided by the wall, which I'm going to be building on either side. But these things are pretty rock solid because you can see all the plate work and tile work that goes into it. In fact, I need to go through my odd-shaped dark bluish gray plate bin and find more of these wedge plates because there's a bunch more of these that I need to create to figure out if I have to order any of those or not. I went ahead and mills plated this 48 by 48 with green, I don't know, should I do the landscaping under there? I haven't quite decided yet, but I added just some support posts there so that curve is nicely supported. And then this side, the grade is quite nice. Half of what it is over here, but I think it's gonna work out beautifully for this train here. Let's check it out. Here we go. We've got the high-speed passenger train not going very fast at all. Like going quite slow. And it handles that grade with ease, I would say. Of course, we could ramp it up a speed or two. But I think it goes pretty quickly down there and around the corner by the zoo. And of course, I could just get it going really fast. Got to be a little bit careful. Don't want to derail the train. Specifically where it's going right now, there's a little bit of a downhill going into that curve from the bows to the regular track. So you got to be a little bit careful right there. I derailed it once and I actually broke one of the turntables on my train track, or on my train wheels, like the yellow ones. So I've got to order a couple more of those. I was looking on Lego Bricks and Pieces, but they don't have any. Oh, it just stopped. Well, that was weird. I didn't hit a button. Maybe my remote batteries need to be changed. Look, it's beeping, or it's blinking red. Maybe that's what that indicates. But yeah, it just stopped. That was weird. But there you go. If I get this going a little bit quicker, that grade is nothing, and that's a bit dangerous right there. Watch out, citizens. Crazy train driver on the loose. Let's not go down this grade at that high of speed, all right? Let's not and say we did. It'll be really cool once I get the subway integrated into the Lego City, and I plan on doing that relatively soon. I've got a bunch of wood in my garage, which I'm going to transfer over here within the next week or so. And included in that wood is a bunch of shelving that I used to use in the Lego room. It's like the 12-inch shelving, and that's what I'm gonna mount underneath the tables here for the subway. I started constructing the wall around the train track using those 1x2 palisade bricks. I also put some 1x1 modified bricks with a forward-facing stud in there so that we can put some vegetation scattered throughout the wall to break up that dark gray color. I could add a lot more vegetation. I could also add more detail to that vegetation, and I plan on doing that shortly. Just wanted to give you a little update here. So in regards to the wall, I'm building it using 1x2s, and what happens when you build using 1x2s is it starts to flex on the plate, especially when you start building up 3, 4, 5, 6 bricks. And you can see back here, it's not too bad, but as I progress, you can see the gap between the plates, because I'm not building it as one solid wall, I'm trying to keep these as separate modules, get larger and larger. And that's because there's a little gap between the bricks, and it's actually pulling the plate. You can see that little gap. And when you build walls using 1x2s, eventually it starts to like warp the Lego. So for that reason, I'm not connecting it as one large wall. In the past, what I did was rather than put 2 1x1s here, I would put a 1x2 there, and that would pull it together. The issue is when you start to do that, well then these plates, they start to get all weird. So you can see a little bit of gap, but I can hide that with vegetation. Now, what I should do is, I'm going to tell you this, but I don't know if I want to do it, is pull out the support that's in that gap there, because when you peer through, you can see a little bit of color, and I should turn that to all dark bluish gray. Ideally, that would help fix that problem. What I could do also is I could connect them all just by running a tile over top, like a 1x8 tile, but once again, I think that's just going to interlock them all and create that like clutch power flex to be like too much, and it just like creates separation. So for now, I'm just covering it with vegetation, and I think that's going to be good. It takes quite a bit of time just because I'm using 1x2s, so to lay that many 1x2s takes a little bit of time, but it's definitely worth it because we can't be looking at this color. No, that doesn't look any good, so I'm going to finish that one up now. There we go. That's much, much better. I decided to add some vegetation on the side of the wall as well. Just locked it in place with a carrot into one of the 1x1 modified bricks with the forward-facing stud, just in 2 different points. You can make these as long as you want or different shapes different colors as well, just depending on what kind of vegetation you have with. I could go around and I could add more leaves on all the available studs, but I think they look fine as is. Maybe I should experiment with the leaves, like these leaves here. It's a good way to add more detail to that. It's funny, as I was building this wall, I was running very low. In fact, I ran out of the palisade bricks. You can see I need like 6 more, 3 on each side, and then the slope. Whatever, I'll get more of those soon. I scoured my parts, I couldn't find any. Used an entire freezer bag. I did decide to add the light bluish gray tiles on the top there. I just think it takes like those studs away. It looks cleaner than the studs, and it also locked them in. Because these are longer tiles, it locked them all together, eliminating that gap that I was mentioning earlier, so I was pretty happy with that. I know there's a lot of light and dark gray in this area. This is what it is. It's a train track. I think once I add more minifigures and stuff everywhere, then it'll sort of take away from that. Plus, it makes the modular buildings really pop in behind. And I can add more detail to the cove as well. I actually started working on the cove, so I just did some basic Mills plate work back here to blend it in, so it's like the same curve as the train track. And I did that with 2x2 plates underneath some of the 4x6 plate, and then I sort of tapered it, and it's going up to the right height, so it blends in with the cove, which was already there. I also fixed up the road plates here. Before, there was the pull-in for the fire brigade in front of the brick bank there, so I moved that. And then I also got rid of one of the green spaces in here, because that didn't really make any sense. And I pushed down the parking stalls so they're all over there. And I started adding some detail over here as well. There's some miscellaneous curved slopes, cheese slopes, and also the little sapling trees. And then some bamboo mixed in there. This is just like the first layer. I plan on adding a lot more. It's just a matter of bringing the part bins down here and doing it in layers like I always do. So I'll go around, I'll place all the 1x1s, and then I'll put all the curved slopes on top of the 1x1s, then I'll come in with the cheese slopes, and I just sort of do it in layers by part type rather than having all the part types down here all at once. And this is the cove before. I'm gonna go ahead and add a bunch of detail to this, and we'll have a look at the after. There we go. I think that's much better. Added some more color, breaking up that dark gray. So you've got some light gray, the lime green, regular green, tan, dark tan. Then I added some critters as well. We've got the hermit crab right there, regular crab. There's a skunk in the background there. Also another crab. Added all sorts of parts all over that just to try and break it up a bit. I think it looks pretty cool. I just added a little bit of detail here underneath the train track, along with some more sapling trees. And then I also went through here and I added these large trees, along with some more detail in the green space below. I'll probably eventually add more detail. It's just a matter of getting around to doing it. This here, I got here at about 10 today. So 7 hours and 10 minutes it took me just to do this today, but I think there was a lot of progress that was made here. Now I do have this boardwalk that sort of leads nowhere, which I'm okay with because it's just a nice leisure walk that citizens can watch the train go by while eating their ice cream, or gaze out into the water, or take a look at the cove. And if they're really feeling dangerous, I guess they could hop this and go for a walk through here, or they could walk underneath the train track. I did test it. A minifigure would hit his head on the train track if they try to walk under there. That's why I rounded off the sidewalk here. What I would like to do eventually is actually add a crosswalk. The reason I can't do that is because I'm out of these plates without the zebra. They're 8x16 studs, and in order to replace this one with a zebra, well, I need the other half, which would be 8x16 studs. Yeah, on this one here, and also on this one here, because this is a road plate, that's a road plate, so I can't really move this one around. But eventually I'll order more of those. I guess I could create some using some plates and tile, but it wouldn't really match the look of the road, so I'm not really in a huge rush to get that done. Also, of course, in regards to the boardwalk, I would love to have some more detail here, such as benches, lights, maybe even like actual LED lights, and then more minifigures and more stories as well. Don't worry, that'll happen. But I think it looks good. You know, we've got some trees, we've got some vegetation. The grade is a little more friendly on that train. It's running at 50% right now, going up no problem, and going down no problem as well. So I think that's good. Some other train stuff that I want to work on relatively soon is just fixing up all these tracks. I need to create more of these for the curves and the switches, and also more for over here as well, where I have some bug traps. Oops. I was running my vacuum and it gets stuck on the glue. But yeah, I've got these tracks here that I've got to create, and then I can start mills plating all of this stuff because I have the green plate to do it. And I also have the underlying plate for the train and for the train track, and also the dark bluish gray tile, so I can start working on that as well. And then I also have like a ton of nougat masonry. I think the string's running out of batteries in general, but a ton of nougat masonry that I can use for framing the amusement park. So yeah, there you go, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this LEGO City update. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future. And thank you so much for coming on by. Farewell, have a great day.